There are moments that challenge what we think is possible, that defy the odds and our expectations. Those moments are what we at MU Health call yes moments. And they're changing the face of cardiovascular care. One breakthrough discovery, one advanced treatment, one miraculous outcome at a time. Yes makes it possible.
Good morning. Welcome to Radio Friends on Friday, May the 19th. We have one interesting guy with us today. Many different topics, no matter what we talk about, I find him fascinating. That's Jack Schultz. Good to have you here, Jack.
Good morning, Paul.
From the Bond Life Science Center.
Right.
And today, I think probably one of the most unusual topics that you and I have dealt with in the whole time you've been on. You came in and you said, oh, we're going to talk about going out to dinner.
Right. And what we're talking about is a new research study just published by members of the faculty here at the University of Missouri.
So this study was done at the university.
And at the University of Missouri, just came out. And at first, the results seemed kind of obvious to a lot of people. But what's important about the story is that they actually did science to demonstrate what we guessed was probably going on is correct.
Okay.
And what we guess is going on is that if you dress well for dinner and you go to a restaurant, you will get better service than if you dress down.
So this was a study.
This was a
that
study.
The university did.
Real data, numbers, everything.
So how did you involve science in this?
Well, first of all, it's a scientific approach. There's an hypothesis. Okay, and they tested the hypothesis in various ways. They measured, the service that different people got dressed in different ways, and they were able to demonstrate that indeed, if we went out for dinner, I'd get better service than you.
Because I'm dressed casual.
That's right.
And
that's right.
If you go, so you're telling me if you go to a nice restaurant. What if it's a middle-of-the-road restaurant? Are you still going to get better service if you dress?
Yeah, probably. Certainly, you can find places to go where you'd be favored because they really value. I mean, if we're on a beach in California, you're probably going to get better service than I am. But generally speaking, at middle of the road to high-end restaurants, the better you dress, the better service you get. Now, why might that be?
I don't know. Maybe they think that if you're dressing better, you've got more money and you're going to tip
Exactly.
better. Is that it?
Exactly. Surveying the service people involved in these experiments, what they're doing is they're looking at all of the people they have to serve.
So you interviewed service people.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that's what they came up with?
Yeah. You ask them, well, why did you spend more time on that table than that table? And the answer was they expected a better tip at that table than that table. And then if you look at the way the people were dressed at those two tables, they're better dressed at the table that got more service and presumably will leave the larger tip.
But that may not always be true.
That's right. So let me ask you this. Why do you think I'm wearing this shirt? Look, I've got cufflinks.
You got cufflinks on.
Yeah.
You got a purple shirt on with stripes.
Yeah. I have been here wearing shirts like you are wearing at the moment.
My Aloha attire.
Right, yeah. I like that too.
I do too. And for 40 years when I was doing the television show, I had to wear a coat and tie every day. I don't know when the last time I had a coat and tie on was.
Well, I became director of the Bond Life Sciences Center about 10 years ago, and I bought my first ever suit for that job.
Yeah.
So, we're not that different. But why do you suppose? I mean, I'm a little dressed up, not a lot.
Yeah, you're a little dressier, classier looking than I am.
Why do you suppose I dress this way today?
To show me up.
Okay. All right, so you just assigned a motive to me, right?
Yeah, but
Okay.
You know what? It really doesn't make any difference because I feel comfortable the way I'm dressed.
Well, no, we're not. This is not a you're good, I'm bad kind of thing.
Yeah, I understand.
Okay. But when I asked you to make a guess about why I dress this way, you attributed a motive to me.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
In psychology, that's called fundamental attribution error. It's a phenomenon that occurs in everyone's brain, and it's when you don't actually know why I'm dressed this way. You're asked to guess.
You're assuming.
You make some kind of assumption. right?
Okay.
So if you're a waiter and I'm dressed this way, you may do the same thing. You can assume that I'm dressed this way because I have more money, right?
But what if you're dressed that way? You're dressed very nice, but you've got a grumpy look on your face.
Oh, yeah.
And then you look over in the other table, there's somebody just smiling and happy and looks like a friendly person. Then they've got on a Hawaiian shirt.
Well, sure. I'm
going to go to the person that's happy.
We're talking about averages here. I mean, everything else held constant, a better dressed person gets more service. What's interesting about this are two things. One is, I already said that, people actually did a scientific experiment to demonstrate that that's the way this works. The other thing about it is that what the service people are doing is a characteristic of everybody's brain. It's called a cognitive bias, and we all have them. It plays a role in almost everything we do. It plays a big role in racism because people assign certain motives to a person who looks different from themselves without actually knowing what that person's motive is. I just read about a very interesting study done somewhere else where policemen were shown a series of pictures of benign items, phones, things like that, none of them a weapon. And they were placed in a situation where they had to make a snap decision about what they saw on the screen was a weapon or not. If you showed them a picture of a member of their own race first, they generally got it right. Oh, that's a phone. If you showed them a picture first of a member of another race, they more often made an error and claimed it was a weapon.
So that was bias in the brain.
Right.
Not even trying to be biased.
No, these cognitive biases.
It's hardwired in us.
Yeah, and perceiving different looking people as potentially threatening is, you can sort of imagine thousands of years ago that was probably adaptive. You needed to do that.
How do we get over that now?
Well, none of these things, and this is a common mistake people, when you bring science to psychology and sociology and people's behavior, some people think that's a bad idea because they assume that we can't overcome the negatives, but that's not true. Both humans, both as individuals and as a society, can decide to deal with these things or not. Just because there's biology and so forth behind it doesn't mean it can't be changed. But we do have to pay attention to it.
We have the ability to make a decision.
Exactly.
On facts.
Right.
And sometimes it's not always what you see that is factual.
In fact, much of the time it isn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to go just a little bit deeper.
Right.
So it's not the way you're dressed, it's what you have inside.
That's right.
So we'll end the interview that way.
Good.
Okay.
That's great.
Jack Schultz, thank you so much for coming by. Director of the Bond Life Science Center. You're an interesting guy.
It's a pleasure.
And it's always a pleasure chatting with you. If people want more information, they can go to the website for the Bond Life Science Center.
That's right.
Lots to learn there, Jack Schultz. Monday, MU Healthcare and Stevens College. Drop me an email, pepperp@missouri.edu. Bye-bye.